horse poo-poo. San Antonio, Minnesota. Things are tied up at 2 apiece in this bad boy. Ant, my goodness, what can you say? His fourth quarter was amazing. Finishes with 36. 16 of those came in that fourth quarter. Naz Reid with 15. De'Aaron Fox got a little awake in this one when things. Who's he talking to?
He's the absolute
crazy character. But we'll get to the win. What we're going to start with is the obvious here. It's the elbow to the face of Naz Reid by one Victor Wembanyama. They were trying to figure out whether...
Obvious elbow, no doubt flagrant 2, and again, I got no...
Can we agree this was intentional?
Can we context it a little bit about how many times he'd been fouled before that?
He looked at him and elbowed him in the face.
Let's background this.
Dude,
they were molesting him for 2.5 games.
Cut it
You
out.
sound like the bias.
Of course I am.
Dude,
I have
again,
to have the backs.
I don't think we're going to blow it out of proportion. I don't think he gets suspended for the next game, but this was an obvious dirty elbow to a dude's head. You can't do this. And more importantly, you can't put yourself in this situation as Victor Wembanyama, as the engine of this team, to get yourself tossed out of a game. And now this.
Why do you think he did that?
And again, okay, well, control your emotions.
Reaction.
Control your emotions.
But what was the reaction to?
Beats.
Basketball.
Why aren't we calling everything then?
Because no one else reacts like this and elbows a guy. If I'll tell you this, if this was somebody else, Dylan Brooks, Draymond Green, someone with priors.
I'm trying to hear this case that she's trying to make. What's the case?
On the play there, he's been fouled twice right before this even happened, and neither one of those were called.
If you're the best player, you're the best player on the team. He actually cost them this game. So so
you have to.
We had to hold him accountable the same way that we hold guys accountable, whether they have a reputation for it or not. It was a dirty play, and it ended up costing them the game because they didn't have rim protection. They held up. Luke Cornett held it up as long as he could until that ran out. And then these guys start attacking the rim. He got to be able to control his emotions more, especially in a pivotal game where they can possibly go up 3-1, going back to their home court. Instead, they're going back tied up. Yeah. And now what is a pivotal 3-game series that they got to fight through, and they're uncertain whether he's even going to play in Game 5. Seeing if it's
Game 5.
Yeah, seeing if it's going to be a suspension or not for him.
He's better. Just
but I don't think it warrants a
smoked if he gets suspended.
If they suspend him, then it's rigged. Then I run with that. Should he miss Game 5?
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think he misses Game 5 for that play. It's not a basketball play. It was a dirty play, but I don't think it continues on past what happened already.
I think the idea that this is playoff basketball, it is physical. You say he's retaliating because he was getting fouled in the play.
He literally was fouled by Jaden McDaniels on the same play.
Okay, maybe, but there's guys fouled every...
So if he got fouled by Jaden McDaniels on that play and you elbow Naz Reid...
Yeah, there's...
Oh, sorry, you're the one that's standing there.
Make it make sense.
Okay.
And
make it make sense that the refs call what they want.
I'll make it make sense for you. We gloat about how tall he is. You look down on a man and swung down to elbow somebody. You have to go out of your way to connect with somebody.
There's contact on every single play in the NBA. You can't just go and throw an obvious elbow like this. I know you love them. I know you love the Spurs. You can't do this. And more importantly, you have to control your emotions to not have this happen, to leave your team out to dry. At the end of the day,
especially for somebody we give so much credit to for being level-headed and for being mature for their age.
That goes to show you how much he'd had it.
He's unbelievable. He is wise.
I like how you're riding for him, but it ain't working.
He is very wise. I like his approach. I like his mental. He had a weak moment here that... Lou's right. He cost his team this game. He is too valuable. His impact just being out there alone, let alone his impact on the defensive end, the way he scores the basketball. Think about what he did Game 3 offensively with 39. He can't do things like this in such a critical moment, in a critical series, against a team, by the way, that is scrappy and that is not going away.
Hella physical.
You can't put yourself in this situation to do it. I hope it doesn't get suspended in Game 5 because it's a hell of a series. And I don't think it was that. Again, he's got no priors. He's got no history of doing this.
We don't want him out Game 5.
Do not suspend him Game 5. This series is the best series, pretty much the only good series we got left. I'll
tell you what, there's hate now. Now there's hate.
You can't do that.
Now it's a rivalry.
But this was a very dirty play by a great player.
This is why you need a goon on the team. The Spurs need a goon because they need a guy that goes out there and does that.
You don't really need a goon. I don't think Minnesota is even playing a bad brand of basketball. I think they're playing physical. I think they're being aggressive. I think that it's also playoff basketball. Nobody's going out of their way to do anything to Wemby or anybody else on the San Antonio Spurs to take this out of the context of playing basketball. Everything that I see from both teams are basketball related up until this elbow. Other than that, I think we've played a pretty good series of decent basketball. We hadn't had a lot of trash talk, haven't had a lot of mix-ups.
Now it's gonna get.
Now it's on.
Game 5 is going to be. I should just fly home for that.
Even the elbow. You didn't see anybody really react on Minnesota in a way where they wanted to have a problem or.
It's a great point. Like I'm surprised Jay McDaniels didn't.
Because he just got away with a foul.
Push him after.
Were you going to push it?
Because I don't think that's the way that the series was going. It wasn't going in a way where anybody was going out of their way to be ultra aggressive with Wemby.
Well,
now, were they making it difficult for him? They supposed to. Were they being physical with him? They're supposed to. All of these are playoff basketball. So in those moments, he got to be strong enough to be able to maneuver what's what in that situation, especially when you turn, you look down on a guy, you seek him out, and you elbow him. It was just a bonehead play. It cost him a game. And now the series is interesting. So he got to deal with the reality of that as well.
Playoff basketball is physicality. It's hard box outs. It's hand checking. It's chucking guys on a pick and roll. It's not that. And so that's where I think he's got to learn from this. He's got to be better from this. Just look no further than Dylan Harper's reaction in the background when he does it. Like, his own teammate was astonished. Like, no. Come on, you can't.
He said, "Damn, that's game 4."
And you're arguing for this.
Can I also say this? In slow-mo, it looks way worse than it did in real time.
Everything looks.
Stop.
It still looks.
I told you
can we be
last
more
week,
dramatic?
Everything looks worse in slow-mo.
Please, and let's not act like Naz Reid didn't add a little extra.
He didn't add nothing.
He added. That's a grown-ass man. He falls like that.
B,
stop.
you know why I respect you so much, B? For keeping it real. Today, you are not keeping it real.
I am 100% keeping it real today.
Like you said, I'm surprised this didn't trickle into something else.
Something else.
Minnesota, like Rudy Gobert, those other guys.
What is Rudy Gobert
I'm just saying, if my guy gets elbowed like that,
you just like everybody else, eye for an eye.
You would think someone would step up to this. I think it was a weak moment.
They didn't do anything because they'd been getting away with stuff to begin with. Why would they push it?
Intentionally elbowing people in the face.
Please stop it. Oh, you know what? Game 5. Just know, Game 5 is going to be awesome loud, and he better not.
Hope he doesn't get suspended.
I will riot. I will lead the riots through the streets. The game itself. Look, Spurs were in this one, and we know they can win games without Wemby.
Spurs actually shot more free throws last night, but I'm listening.
Because they did. Okay. 94-86 is what the Spurs were up with 8:51 left in the fourth. So there was a moment of hope and a glimmer of, all right, we can do this. But then it looked like they sort of let go of the rope, Lou.
Yeah, I think they held on as long as they could. Like I said earlier, a second ago, I think Luke Cornett played a great game for the position that he was in. But that rim protection, them some big shoes to fill. Those some huge shoes to fill. We're talking about the defensive player of the year going out of the game and somebody that literally alters every possession down the floor for a team when they're trying to score the basketball. When he goes out, that opens up some lanes. What I think happened is, once Wemby went out, I think Minnesota in that third quarter, they came out at halftime, and everybody tried to be the hero. Everybody tried to be the guy to go out and beat the San Antonio Spurs because Wemby wasn't on the floor. So the ball got sticky a little bit. They started playing a lot of one-on-one basketball, and they probably had one of their worst quarters that they've had in the postseason. I believe at one point they were 2 for 20 from the field. And the ball was sticky, no assists there. And then in the fourth quarter, I think they adjusted back to their game plan, and they became a team that got downhill, played in the paint, and took advantage of Wemby not being there to rim protect. And that was the difference in this game. I think San Antonio had a golden opportunity in that third to kind of give themselves a little bumper in the score where they can kind of get some leeway. But Minnesota never went out of that 6 to 8 point range, and they were able just to stay in this game by free throws, by being fouled. San Antonio was fouling a lot, so they were able to get
Minnesota
to
Minnesota wasn't the only team.
They weren't the only team, but Minnesota was able to get to the free throw line, and that opens up lanes for Anthony Edwards. He's too dangerous to not have anybody to protect the rim right there. Then now Julius Randle, somebody that's been criticized in his past for being a bull in a china shop. That was his golden opportunity to be able to go out and play that brand of basketball and create fouls and opportunities to get to the free throw line. And I think those were the adjustments that they made and eventually end up beating San Antonio.
Yeah, it just seems like when Wemby went out, they got bright-eyed and they said, okay, this is an opportunity right now, even up the series. They were missing their key guy. And like Lou just said, Julius Randle was then able to go ISO and do his spinning downhill, not knowing that Wemby's not coming weak side to try and block the shot. the end of the game, Ayo gets downhill to the rim for the and one. That doesn't happen if Wemby's on the floor. So this completely changed the way they played. They played differently even when Wemby subs out of the game and they put in the Cornet or they go small with a Harrison Barnes type guy, on Champagne. They go small and they just attack the rim. They did this for the last 30 whatever minutes because Wemby was not there to provide that shot blocking at the rim. So this is a huge, huge adjustment that they made in game. And in the fourth quarter, the Spurs just struggled. Fox was inefficient, Castle was inefficient, Vassell was 1 for 3. Like, these guys just didn't make shots coming the stretch, and Ant-Man went nuts.
Yeah, Ant-Man did go nuts. The 16 points that he had in the fourth quarter are pretty legit. Remember, he still got 2 bad knees that he's doing that on.
They looked better last night, though.
I was going to say, like, I wonder
what's he doing?
Who. Well, obviously SGA, but like, who would you take over him here? And a double concern though, he played a lot. Do we have any concerns about how he's feeling as we go into Game 5? Because I don't know, those knees got to be feeling weird.
This is playoffs. You leave it all out there. You have a chance right now to tie up this series. Now it's a 3-game series and possibility with no Wemby. And even if he is in the game, it doesn't change anything the way they're doing. They beat them with Wemby. They beat him now without Wemby. Like, this is a great opportunity. And we've talked about this Minnesota team in this playoffs. They're so scrappy. They never give up. It's always the next guy. Like, Ayo has stepped up huge. Mike Conley's filled in great. Like, Ant has, when he's banged up, Julius Randle was great. Rudy Gobert's had the best playoffs, arguably, of his career, just his impact on both sides of the ball. So Terrence Shannon has had his moment. So
didn't have a great night last night, but I like the fact that he remained aggressive. And Shannon Jr.
Shannon Jr.
Yeah,
that's what he's there. That's what he's there
3
for.
for 12 from the field, but the fact that he never lost confidence and he never wavered. See, sometimes with young players, if you can't make shots, that determines how you play. That determines your confidence, not being able to guard. He didn't allow that to deter him at all. He still made positive plays, even as inefficient as he was on the offensive end. He was a great ad. So
those 2 threes in a row where I was like, enough.
Yeah. See, but to shoot the ball the way that he was shooting and not being great at the field and to still have the confidence and to make back-to-back three-pointers when they needed them. That was a critical time and when they needed them. So that's good for them. Minnesota is in a great position right now, just as much as San Antonio is. Everybody is showing up to play. Both teams have depth. Now I'm curious to see how San Antonio responds in Game 5 on their floor. I expect Wemby to be back in that lineup. But you just allow Minnesota to get some momentum as well. So that's going to have to be something that you pay attention to.
And I don't know what Ant's doing, but he looked fresher. He looked like he had a more explosive.
Whatever he's dealing with, it looked like it's getting better instead of worse.
How is it getting better when he's playing on it?
He's healing.
They went straight varsity blues. And
there's got to be some good stuff happening.
But I'll tell you this, like that one, I think it was Game 2, he looked a step slow. He didn't have that burst at the rim. Usually he's put on your head. He was kind of just laying it up, barely getting over the rim. Last night, he looked like himself. He looked explosive. Even just kind of his elevation on his mid-range, getting by the defender with his first step. Almost just too easy. He would never do that on Wemby.
I was about to say, I'll just say it. That's Luke Cornett in there. He doesn't have the pedigree if you're an athlete like an Anthony Edwards.
That was hilarious, by the way.
That coach is so good.
How is that not a technical? That should be a technical. No, but you know what? The only thing he did do was he'd go back and get a little oxygen in the game. Did you notice that? And then he would come back out. I was like, so maybe that's the one thing that he's feeling. I just don't know how your knees get better.
I'm just saying, physically, he damn near looked 100%.
That's what I'm saying. The oxygen was the only giveaway that, like, maybe something's a little bit off.
And honestly, sometimes, Bees, when your body is going, when your adrenaline is running, that's probably the best time for you.
He's probably sore today.
Yeah, he's probably hurting today. Trust me. He's probably getting around-the-clock treatment. But when you're in that moment, when your adrenaline is rushing, you don't have any time to even worry about your knee. So sometimes when you're not thinking about an injury that you're dealing with and you're just able to go out there and play freely, that's one of the best things that you can do when you're dealing with 2 bad knees.
Well, that's exactly.
Just go out and make positive plays. Yep.
By the way, this is a rivalry now, right? Like, I feel like last night's game cemented sort of an Wemby.
I need like 2 more elbows to get it.
I need a couple more dust-ups. I need Game 7. I need them to...
Let me speak for everyone then. I will do that now. As a Spurs fan, I will represent. We now hate the Minnesota Timberwolves. This is 100% a rivalry.
Why? Because with the Wemby situation?
100%. This
you
is now,
hate them for him elbowing them?
And the refs. Like, this a whole thing. I'm just telling you that Game 5, Naz Reid will hear it.
I thought I knew San Antonio Spurs fans to be responsible.
What? No, what? We're fans. What are you talking about?
I
promise you it's going to be...
You can't be mad at Minnesota because of this situation.
When Naz Reid touches the ball tomorrow, it will be chaos. I 100% am here for it.
So we're victim blaming.
No, I'm sorry.
He was a victim.
He embellished.
Oh, my gosh.
The pressure.
You sound like a crazy person.
No, I don't.
my gosh.
This is exactly
I can't
what
believe
we
we're
saw.
dealing with this today.
I can't believe I had to deal with this today. I wanted to call in sick.
So it's all good on the Spurs end. Wemby didn't do anything wrong.
No, he didn't.
Naz
Look,
Reid should have got his face out the way.
this was probably a little bit extra, but
He
not as
didn't
much
look
as y'all
back
think.
at him before. I feel like it could have been an accident.
He
This was-
didn't look back. It's a normal head
this was
movement.
fully on purpose.
Okay, this is like a Zapruder film. I'm going to sit here for the next 24 hours and do this. By the way, the pressure's all Spurs, right? Like, I don't think anyone's arguing that it's Minnesota's.
Yeah, I mean, listen, they're the higher seed. They're the team that everyone wants to see match up against OKC in
Also
the Western
true.
Conference Finals. Like that is the matchup that everyone's been waiting on, and the Minnesota Timberwolves have something to say about that. And again, this is a team that's been counted out. This team has been banged up with injuries, and they continue to prevail and play hard and defend. And so it's not going to be easy. And again, at least they have home court advantage in this 3-game series. They have to take care of Game 5. Wemby obviously needs to be in the lineup, and he needs to control his emotions.
Please.
But because his impact is undeniable there, and they're a
I
completely
thought that was
different
the
team.
whole point of going overseas. And
Yeah, what happened in the monk training?
I thought that was
I'll
the
tell you
whole
what,
point.
I'm pretty low key, but if you poke the monster that many times,
Where is
at
the
some point I'm
poking?
going to blow
Yeah,
up.
well, you poked him on. So
I'm
you
having a hard
For
time
2.5
finding the poke.
games.
But how about this? Maybe it was the best move ever by Minnesota. Because if he misses Game 5, I'll do it again.
Oh, and then you think there's no rivalry or hate.
Yeah.
Please.
Oh, I'm
But
just saying. What a brilliant play. If that gets him tossed for the next game, then the Minnesota Timberwolves won that battle.
Yeah, Naz Reid
Absolutely.
should thank his acting coach.
But
for
to your point, the Spurs are under a lot of pressure.
So
by
much
the way.
pressure, by
because,
the way.
Yeah, because like Chandler just mentioned, the next 2 out of 3 games are on your home court. But you're playing a team that doesn't feel like they're the underdogs.
Nope.
Yeah.
You're playing a confident team that feel like they can beat you. So to put yourself in a position where they're tied up 3 games, they feel like they can go out and get one of these. More than likely the next one and getting back to their home court. So I'm so excited for this next game because I think you're going to see the best effort from both of these teams with it being 2-2 now.
By the way, I think I just saw the Spurs are going to be favored by double digits in Game 5.
That's not accurate. Well, not if bad news comes down.
Not
But
really.
bad news
In
better
the
not come down.
world?
We should take the
Even
show
with
to San
Wemby.
Antonio for tomorrow.
I think I'm all set.
I think I'm going to go ahead and go out there.